Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. It's Gina at Art of Skincare. And today I just want to have some fun. I want to talk to you about some of those accessories that I've been collecting over the last year or so, and that really boost your results that you get with your skincare products. And I kind of want to share why I pick them up because I'll have you know that when I started and for the first 10 years in aesthetics, I really did not use tools and devices. I was just a hands-on person, did a lot of massage and other treatments. And so I'm saying that because I want you guys to know I'm not a device junkie. I'm not one of those people that just wants the latest, greatest device that comes out. In fact, I move kind of slow. I'm pretty cautious and I just don't jump on the bandwagon of every device that comes along. It took me a long time and a lot of research before I even started including LED into my treatments and into what I was doing at home. And I had to do a lot of research on it and find the best one and the one that's really effective. But I have over this last year been just working on cultivating some different accessories and tools for you guys. And I want to share with you why I do that. What do I have in mind? Because everything I do, I have a purpose. So one of my main concerns is really keeping the skin vital and healthy. We talk about this a lot, that one of the main things that happens as we age is we get stagnation. Things just really slow down and our lymphatic system doesn't work as well. Our cell regeneration, that cell turnover is not happening as fast. Everything's just slowing down. And so I'm always looking for ways to boost that, to keep that cell regeneration happening faster and healthier, to have the lymphatic system working better, blood flow and oxygenation working better, because my goal is to keep my skin and all of your skin as healthy and radiant as we can throughout our entire lives, my mom's life, my mother-in-law's life. And so I'm looking for those things that are going to help do that. And as time goes on and technology progresses, we are finding more and more things that help with eliminating that stagnation. So I'm careful. I go out and I do some research and I look for those things going to be just right. So there's different ways to approach all of this. Of course, one way is internally. And so when we talk about internal, we're talking about the supplements that you take, drinking plenty of water, getting good rest, good sleep at night, and then exercise, getting your heart rate elevated and getting some sweat going every day for 5 to 10 minutes. That really increases the cellular regeneration throughout your whole body and even your hair. It'll make your eyes brighter, your skin will glow more. So internal factors are very important. And I look at those and I encourage you with those. The other things that we do is we look at ingredients in products that help to alleviate stagnation. So we might look for ingredients such as the stem cell cytokines that we find in anti-age or neogenesis. Those are going in and really feeding our skin at the cellular level so that they can keep producing and skin cells can keep reproducing at a healthy rate and in a healthy way. We've also added into our collection Anma, which goes after that estrogen loss, because we know when the receptors in our skin are not getting the estrogen they need, we get all that collagen loss. So we're looking at adding Anma and their special technology, that MEP, into the skin to help keep it vital and glowing. Now, the old standards, there's some old standards that are actually still very valid, and you guys know about those. That's using some AHAs, some alpha hydroxy acids in your routine, and retinol in your routine. So the alpha hydroxy acids are going to help to remove, and enzymes too, help remove that layer of dead skin cells so that those new cells can be emerging. But it's a two-handed thing. So we can do that exfoliation, but we also have to be feeding the skin so that we have those good healthy cells coming to the surface. So we're feeding the skin with the MEP and with those stem cell cytokines and good antioxidants and some peptides thrown in there. Now, another thing that we use, and of course, this is what's pushed the hardest at the doctor's offices, is retinol. Retinol also helps with cell regeneration, but it works in a little different way than the alpha hydroxy acids, where the enzymes and the acids are working just on that surface level. Retinol actually goes in, and let me show you with my hands. This is the best way I know to explain it. I've been doing this for a while. Is that, when you have a baby's bottom or baby skin, it's so thick and juicy. And that top layer of skin is actually very thin because they have all this cushion in here. So as we age and we get exposed to sun and we have all this oxidation happening and then age kicking in and things slowing down, what happens is that that collagen layer gets thinner. And so what our skin does is it gets that top layer thickens up to protect itself. So that's why you will see people who get a lot of sun and a lot of sun damage have kind of really rough layer of skin on the surface. Is really rugged because that top layer of skin is really trying to protect you because that collagen layer is gone and your skin's trying to deal with that. So when we use retinol is very special. And what retinol does is it actually goes down. And so here's our misshapen skin. We've got this thin layer of collagen here, and then we've got this thicker layer of skin up here. Retinol comes in, and retinol starts thickening up and stimulating that collagen production. So we start getting a thicker layer down here. And what happens is that stimulates your body to start shedding this stuff up here. So these start shedding and this gets thinner because this layer is getting thicker, and that's a good thing. But sometimes with retinol, if it's too strong and it's working too fast, we'll get some adverse reactions on the surface as those damaged cells are coming off. Some of the damaged cells will get like a red, bumpy flakiness. Sometimes it looks like little cigarette burns as those are coming off. And when that happens with retinol, we slow it down. We use some other products to help nourish the skin and those cells underneath. And we slow down that process by using a weaker retinol or using the retinol less often or using a different form of retinol. We know we have at the high end the tretinoin, and then we have our L-retinols and our encapsulated retinols be the next step. And then below that, we have our retinaldehydes. So we kind of bounce around between those, working to find what's going to work best at each stage of our lives. There might be times when you can use a really strong or you use that L-retinol. And then there's other times in your life when you just got to go to, oh no, my skin just needs retinaldehyde right now. That's the perfect strength for me. So it's always finding that balance, and our skin is changing all the time. So all of these are kind of anti-aging maneuvers that we do to get rid of stagnation and increase cell regeneration and cell turnover and try to have healthy cells coming to the surface. So as we're doing all of that, and I have all that in my mind, I'm looking at what other things help with that aging, that healthy aging that I like to call it, because we are all still going to get our smile lines, expression lines. We're eventually going to get necklines and that kind of thing happening, some deeper lines happening on our face. That's just the natural progression of aging. But what I want for everybody is to have that really healthy, vital glow. So my mom has some deeper folds on her face, and that's okay. I think they're beautiful. It actually gives her face so much character. And she's so beautiful. I love that. What I work on with her is not really so much about reducing those lines and texture to her skin. I'm working on keeping her skin really glowing and beautiful so that people do stop her all the time and say, oh my gosh, your skin looks so great. What do you do? And she's always sending them, you got to talk to my daughter-in-law, Gina. And she sends them along to me, and I help them get their skin in the condition that they want it so that they're glowing like Maxine. So to get back on track here, so when I'm thinking about all these things and what goes into having healthy, glowing skin, I'm also on the lookout for what devices, tools, other things out there that help with that process. So when you talk about the number one thing, so if you were just to have one thing that you brought into your routine, and you guys heard me talk about this before, it is light stim. Lightstim makes the most powerful LED that you can use. I keep this by my bed and I do it every night all over. I tend to get hyperpigmentation, so my skin doesn't like it as just one spot treatment, but I just move it around all over my face. And the LED is so important for the deep health of cellular care. So the light stem has to be used a minimum of 5 days a week. And you're not going to start seeing great results on it until you've been using it for about 3 months. So it's something that you just build into your routine and you do it by faith and keep moving forward. And we know it really works. We see the before and after pictures. The science is all there. But when you are talking about improving the cells that are under the skin, they have to have time to come up to the surface. So it's not going to be that instant quick fix. What we're working on is deep cellular level regeneration and health. This is going to increase blood supply, help with lymph, so many things that help you to have healthier cells that emerge to the surface. So on that level, that is my first step. And that's the first thing I usually recommend to people. You know, if there's one thing to add in this LED, it's going to help with sun damage and so many other. But as you guys know, I've also been collecting some new things. So I do want to dive in here a bit to some of the new things that I have and what they do and how you might want to play with them and use them in your routine. So one thing let's touch base on really quick is the Dermadisc. This was our first new thing of the year was the Dermadisc. Why is this special? I searched the world over looking for a device like this before we got it. I wanted a microdermabrasion device that does not use any suction, because suction tends to give bruises to the skin. It breaks capillaries. It's just really hard on the skin. So what we have is the best of the best. We have diamond tips on our device, and then it vibrates. It also doesn't twist in circles, so it's not damaging the skin in that way. It just vibrates, and you can use it on dry skin, and you can use it with enzymes. The enzymes will help digest away those dead skin cells as you are sanding them off with your diamond disc. So I love, love, love this little device. And that was the first thing that we brought on this year. The next thing that I've got my little supply over here. I'm thinking, what do I want to share next? So let's actually go to one of the newest things that just hit the site this month. And this is the Skin Wand. Now, the Skin Wand is a micro channeling device. And most of you have heard of micro needling devices. Micro needling devices are a device that actually, we call them collagen induction devices. So they induce collagen generation. They induce collagen generation in the skin. This is similar to micro needling, but it does not have the metal needles. It has a stamping mechanism inside of it. It comes with these little heads. They use them. If you're doing your whole face, you would replace it every 4 or 5 times. If you're just doing specific areas with it, then they will last longer, and you can probably just change them out once a month. So what this device does is 2 things. One is it is an exfoliating device. There's 3 speeds on it. So if you use it on the highest speed and go over the skin, the next day or 2, you will notice flakes of skin coming away. So in a way, it's similar to my microdermabrasion device, but it does not have the diamond tip. Instead, it has a silicone needle tip that's hitting the skin. Does not cause any abrasion to the skin, but it's definitely pushing product in the skin, when it is on the exfoliating setting, which is just the highest speed, it does disrupt the cells on the skin so that they just naturally let go and release, which is quite lovely, especially if you have a more sensitive skin type. This has 3 speeds. So if you put it on the first 2 speeds, that's more for pushing products into the skin. And this is where I fell in love with this device, because I have so many clients that want to use Cavapla, and they want to use the gold serum, or they want to use our Matrix Cellulaire from Nelly DeVos, and they want to use those with microneedling. But I'm pretty much foursquare against microneedling foreign substances into the skin. So while I know a lot of people will do that with microneedling, I wanted to find a safer alternative for you guys that, and I did it. It took quite a long time. Lauren will tell you, we searched high and low for a good year before we found this device. And so this device you can put on your Cavapla, your gold serum, and while they're on your skin, you're going to turn it on. It has 3 settings. So I'm going to show you guys. There's this light, which is now blue, and that's the lightest setting, and that's what I use when I'm pushing product in around the eye area. Then the next setting is green. That's what I use more around the rest of the face for pushing product, and especially around the mouth area for pushing product into that mouth area. And then when you push the button again, it turns to red, and that's the exfoliation mode. And of course, you guys are going to do this, and I had to do it because I just have to know what it's going to do, right? So of course, I go for the biggest guns. When I first tested this device out, I put it on red, put my serums on, and I'm back and forth working it in. And the way you use it, whether you're using it on any of the settings, is you work that area gently until it turns pink, and then you move on to the next area. So I put on the gold serum, and I'm like, yeah, I want to get rid of this line. I'm going at it. I turn it really nice and pink, and the very next day it's peeling off. And I'm like, oh, this really does cause the skin to peel. So if, peeling can be okay. So when we overdo it and we get some peeling and flaking going on, that's okay, because as we know, whenever we lightly damage the skin, we are going to see a collagen rebounding effect. That collagen is going to go to work. So what we want to do, though, when we cause a peeling thing to happen, is we want to do it with the least inflammation possible. And so that's what I love about this little device, is that I can use it to stimulate a peel all over without getting any swelling or inflammation at all. We don't want inflammation, because inflammation leads to more aging. So that's pretty cool about using this on that red setting, is you get that nice light peel all over with no swelling or inflammation. Now you will notice, even when using it on the very lightest setting, working in your serums and things, when you go to put your moisturizer on, it's going to feel a little tingly. So you can tell that it really has gone to work on your skin and is disrupting those skin cells a little bit. So what do I like to use this with? Of course, we mentioned the Hydrotox, which is our kind of Botox in a bottle. It's all about releasing the muscle tension and everything, like Botox does, to release those permanent stress lines in the face. So you can use it with Cavapla and your Hydrotox. That was immediately, I got excited about that. I've also been playing with it with my Michelle Corley peptide serums. I'll put these on, the face one or the eye one on, and then use this to work it into the skin, working each area till it's nice and pink. The other things that I've loved, we've talked about this before, is clinical. These 2 products, this is their Youth Eye Complex and their Youth Lip Elixir. These both have hyaluronic spheres in them. And for years now, I've been so excited to try and find a device like this for you guys, because these go hand in hand together. Hyaluronic spheres need some pressure to push them down into the skin. So when I put on now in the morning, I put on Youth Lip Elixir every time I brush my teeth, morning or night. Put it on all over. Now I can grab my skin wand, put it on the lightest or medium setting, and then work it, all of that youth lip elixir into that area all around my lips and even over the top of my lips. And I'm loving that. So one of the big things that happens as we age is that first signs of collagen loss causes those deepening lines around the mouth area. So by adding Anma in our system, doing some of these other things I'm going to mention, using some the rejuve setting on our microcurrent, and then using some different devices like this to drive product in, make a big difference. Dermadisc also helps with those deepening lines around the mouth and lips, especially if it's got a rough texture. If you're feeling like I'm getting this buildup of skin cells on here, then the Dermadisc really goes after those. And then the skin wand just takes it and pushes products in, and also helps with exfoliating that top layer of dead skin that just needs to go. Sometimes when I have a client starting a good healthy aging routine, if they are not using anything to boost their exfoliation, their results go very slow. For instance, my Neogenesis clients, if they don't use the enzymes and they don't use any other exfoliants, they are going to progress, and it's going to be amazing. 3 months in, you're going to see some great results, and you've got to be patient. But what I find is if you boost those products with some exfoliation, some enzymes, the Dermadisc, the skin wand, if you boost with those things, you're going to see results faster because you're going to be turning over and getting rid of those damaged cells on the surface faster. So skin wand, yes, loving it with the youth lip elixir, also the eye. And I've been using on the very lowest setting around the eye area with the eye serum from Michelle Corley. I've used it with Neogenesis eye serum, and I've been using it with the eye complex as well to push that hyaluronic serums in there. And I'm really seeing a nice softening of the lines around my eye area. They're never going to completely go away. And I know I don't want them to, because those are my smile lines. I like them. They give me character. But I know that I don't want a buildup of dead skin cells on there, making an orange peely kind of effect. So these are what are going to help keep that from happening. Okay, what I've been saving kind of the best for last. So you guys know I've introduced the Triwave, and we sold through our first batch of them within about 4 days. We have our new batch arriving today or tomorrow. So it's a good time now to get an order in for your Triwave. The Triwave is taking microcurrent to the next level. So a lot of times, ladies, you've been doing microcurrent and you'll tell me it's just not working. And what happens is as the skin starts to lose its firmness, it's not just muscles that need to be worked in there. It's the thinning, it's that collagen loss that causes the skin just to start drooping. And so we've got to do some other things along with microcurrent to really support that collagen production. So what we did, Pooja and I, with the Myolift Triwave, is we incorporated in a rejuve wave pattern. The rejuve wave pattern really works on moving lymph through the skin and oxygenating the skin. So that's going to really increase collagen production. It's going to increase your glow. It's going to get rid of swelling. So if you think about it, when most of our lymph is being moved right here through the lymphatic system. And we have a tendency to be forward like this, and we hunch, and it all closes down the lymphatics. And we are seeing people at younger and younger ages getting double chins. That double chin is happening because of our posture and because the lymph is not moving. You should not be seeing double chins and all of that going on until your 70s. But we're starting to see it much younger than that. And it's because of the toxins in our body and the lymphatic system. So what we're working on now, improving that posture, but part of that is also moving the lymphatic system along and really speeding that up so we don't have stagnation. We don't want stagnation because stagnation leads to puffiness, droopiness, sagginess. The skin looks tired. We don't want that. No, no, no. So we came out with the Triwave. Now, I have a favorite tool to use with the Triwave, especially when I'm doing my rejuvenation. So there's a couple things that you can do. You can put on the same way I've showed you guys in the past. We've done it with the Mitama, even where you put a face mask on and then you put an electrode here, an electrode pad here, and then you lay back for 20 minutes. Still, you can do that with this. You can set it on Reju for 10 minutes and then set it on Educate for 10 minutes. And that way you're getting all that lymphatic movement and you're getting some stimulation at the muscle level of the tissues. So each of the different wavelengths in this, we have Rejuve, we have Erase, which is releasing that fascia tension. And then we have Educate, which is going after firming and conditioning. It's making healthier muscle tissue underneath there. And so each of those waves that goes into these different three forms, they hit the skin at different depths. So that Educate is really going after the muscles. Erase is really going after the fascia, and then Rejuve is really going after that kind of intracellular fluid and the lymphatics and the blood level, oxygenation, all that level. So we're really getting in there and doing some good stuff. So, but back to what I was saying here is that I have a favorite tool to use with this. Now the Myolift comes with 2 probes. And I'll be doing more videos showing you guys how to use those 2 probes. But for many home users, doing 2 probes in certain areas can be great and easy to understand when you're doing your eyes. But the face can be complex, and understanding what to do with those and holding them at the right distance and length of time can be a little challenging for some of us. So what I love is the Lift. The Lift is one handheld device, but it takes a one handheld device to a whole new level. So, you know, we have our QT, Myolift QT, which has 2 little prongs on it. And, you know, you're moving them around. We have the Clairblend Mini, which is just one stationary unit with just 2. So it's like 2 of these that you move around on the skin. I love this because it has all of these different points of touching the skin to conduct the microcurrent. The nice thing about this too is that they are perfectly spaced for ultimate conduction. So if you think about it, if you're holding probes and you've got one probe way up here and one probe way down here, it's going to be diminished. It's not going to be as strong as when you have them this close together. So with this device, it fits beautifully to the face. You can do some holding techniques. And here you can use it to hold on the cheekbones and lifting there. You can use it to release the neck. And I love it for releasing the lymphatic system. We can use it that way. Normally it hooks in. It has these 2 little balls on the end. And that's what hooks it in. And then you can do your treatments. Now, it's self-regulating. So if you're only touching these, you've always got to be touching one ball from each side to your skin because you're conducting between those, right? But if I'm only touching these 2, and let's say I've got my machine set at 100. If I'm just using these 2, then I'm going to be getting 50 and 50. That'll make 100. Now, if I just want to use it and touch the first 4, then I'm going to be getting 25, 50, 75, 100 ampules there. When you use all of them, you're spreading it a little bit thinner. Your ampules is going to go down a little bit, your current. So I love that I can use it with just the 2. I also love how these 4 fit perfectly around the eye area like that. And for working the eye area, works beautifully in these areas. I love these and how I can go this way, moving the lymph along. If I'm using the Rejuve setting, I'm getting in here and doing this. I can go 1 up and 1 down, or I can do 4 going along, or I can do all of them moving along. And so I'm moving that lymph. One area that really gets stagnant for me is right under here. You can even feel the muscle tension there. And I can get a little lump right underneath there. This is a really, I can feel one right here, a little crunchy spot right there. So clearing the lymph from this area is what's going to keep us with a nice defined jawline. So I use this little tool and my Myolift on the Rejuve setting every single day. Because when you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning, what we call is fascia fuzz. You get this fascia fuzz and tension going on in the fascia. If we don't release that, it impedes everything. It's going to impede lymph movement, oxygenation. So if we can do this every morning, and the nice thing about using Rejuve setting is it's nice flowing movements. There's nothing you can do wrong with this. So if you're just doing nice flowing movements all over, keeping in mind the movement of lymph here to here, here, moving everything outward, right? And then down, outward, down, clearing out the chest area with this device, 3 to 5 minutes every day, and you will see a difference in the glow and the texture of your skin. Now, this tool also works very well, of course, for fascia release. Now, if you have the Anma at home, let's see if I don't have it right here. If you have the Anma at home, which is made by the manufacturer, Jane Mann of Lift, you can use the Anma in the evening. I love to use that next to my bed and I do my scalp massage and my whole face. Many people like to use the Anma in the shower, but this device is what I like to use in the morning at my sink and to really get that going. Now, when you use the Rejuve setting, you're increasing your ATP in your cells by 30%. So that's the energy in every cell in your skin. And that if you can increase that ATP every day a little bit, that's really going to go towards a healthier, glowing skin. So, but the other things that you can do with this, you can also use it for fascia release. So you could use it then on erase setting. On your Myolift, you would use erase, and you can do those same kind of flowing, effleurage, flowing movements, or you can use this on educate. And I often do educate for just a couple minutes every day because I love to work, especially this side. This is my droopy eye, and it's really getting better. I'm coming in and I'm doing a lot of lifting in this area and lifting that eye. And then I spend a little less time on this eye because this eye is already lifted. And it's so funny. If I spend the same amount of time on both eyes, I'll get done with this eye and it'll match, right? And then I go and do this eye, and then this eye is more open again. So I kind of fudge a little. I do a little less time on this side and a little more time on this side. But here's a little tip. This lift comes with these two little pieces that connect your handheld unit together. These are the most amazing thing for lifting the eyes and working the mouth area. So you can, with the eyes, you can come in here and hold one above and one below and do this pinching movement to lift up this area through here. Powerful, super powerful. You're only conducting between these two little balls, and it gets really good conduction, and it's very, very effective. The other thing I like to do is if you get puffiness under the eyes or dark circles, use the Rejuve setting, place one ball here, and then use the other one to massage. Move it out here, massage, do here, and some movements. And it really helps to clear out and move the energy underneath the eyes so you don't have stagnation there. On the lip area, same thing. Hold one steady, go in here and work on erasing those lines through here and the tension through here. You can come in and do some, I love to get this right under the lip and one right above the lip and work the whole lift, mouth area doing these lifts and holding, and it really plumps up your lips, helps increase that vermilion line, and helps the lips to look much more youthful. So you really have two devices at one. Some people will unscrew these little sockets right here and permanently plug in these pieces. I encourage you not to do that, because if you plug them in there, you cannot take them back out. You'll permanently just have one device. So I've even instructed Jane for us just to take those instructions out of the box, because I want you guys to be able to use it both ways, attached and then unattached, and using them as your probes. Because these are small and they're right here, I just find them easier to use than the great big long probes. For doing a treatment on yourself, these are amazing for these smaller areas. Now, if you're working the neck and you're doing some other things, the bigger probes, of course, will be a little bit easier. But when you're getting in and working these little areas around the lips, around the eyes, these guys are amazing. So you can use the lift with the Myolift QT or the Myolift Mini, the Myolift QT, the Myolift Triwave, and those ladies and those of you out there who already have a Mitama, you can use this with your Mitama as well. Now, what's the difference between Mitama and the Triwave? The Triwave, you get to choose. You can choose how much detox time you want to do, how much time you want to spend erasing, and how much time you want to spend educating or firming. That's really why I designed this device, because I wanted to be able to personalize it really easily. And this little board on the front makes it super easy to use. It's just so much more flexible than the Mitama. Then people will also ask me, well, what's the difference between the Myolift Mini and this, or the QT and this? And the big difference is the Myolift Mini looks just like this, only it's gray instead of green, and it does not have the rejuve setting. So if you're dealing with acne or with aging issues, you're not going to be able to use that rejuve setting to really boost the collagen levels. The rejuve setting is excellent for acne. If you just do it 2 or 3 times a week for your acne, it's really going to get your skin detoxifying and taking better care of itself from the inside out. You're going to have less severe breakouts. So the other devices don't have that rejuve in them that this device does. And that's why this device costs a little more than those. Now, the other difference between the QT, let me get a QT out. I've got one sitting over here. So you guys who are like unfamiliar with all this, thinking, well, what's a QT, right? The QT, here it is. The QT is very similar to the Clairblend Mini. Okay, so you've got 2 attached balls on there that you can move around and do your treatment with. You do not have a screen on the front. Instead, if you're real tech savvy, I'm not, it doesn't work as well for me, but many people love it, you can use your cell phone. So you're running this, choosing your settings for this and times and stuff all on your cell phone. Now, what's cool about this is it does come with a cord, where this is different than the Clairblend Mini, because the Clairblend Mini, you just use it just with the 2. Do we have a Clairblend Mini over there somewhere? So I can show people the Clairblend Mini, you just use it with the 2 points of attachment. With this device, the QT, and the reason I picked it up is it has more flexibility. So you now can attach your cord, and here you can, there we go. See the difference here? Here's your Clairblend Mini, here's your QT, very similar to each other. The differences are the Mini has an alternating wave that's all over the place. They're just hoping that one of those waves will suit you and do what you want. The QT has a little more science behind it, so they're using 2 different waves, and you can choose which wave you want to do. You can do the wave that erases or relaxes tension in the skin, or you can use the educate, which is going to be that more going in at that muscle level. So giving you the healthier muscle stimulation that you want. So what I'm saying though is that the Mini is just the Mini, straight and easy. The QT, and it doesn't have any programs to run or anything. So it's kind of that very, very entry level, easy device to use. The QT can also be hooked up to all kinds of things. It can be hooked up to our lift. It can be hooked up to even the Myolift probes. If you wanted to do that, it can be hooked up to gloves. It can be hooked up to, oh, you guys know about this. I have my pads where I have my custom treatments that I'll be, we're updating right now, and we'll have them released in the next week or so. You could attach them to the pads. So if you want to just do, let me pull out some of my little pads here. I cut my pads up. These come in rectangles or circles, but I have a tiny face and those are all too big. So you can see I just cut my pads into smaller sizes, and the size that I want to use, whoops, there's some little ones that are falling off. Let me find some V's. So I'm going to show you with your QT, or you can do this with any of these devices. But I want to show you how I cut them into a V, and I use it as a brow lift, or I use it for a lip treatment. But got to find a pack that has it over there. Pre-cut. It's probably in this one. It'll be the last bag that I check, right? That's the way it is. Okay. Ah, here they are. Ben's starting to get nervous. He's looking for them too. So you can see these ones I've cut down into a V shape. So I can use these for brow lift, putting one on each side here. Or I can use them. Let me set things down. I got my hands too full. So we just recorded some new videos for you guys to help you guys with it. I made some diagrams. So you'll see these on our Triwave page in our Learn Center. There's all kinds of little video tutorials and things that show you how to do some of these fun different things. So I could do a hook one each on here, and I can do a brow lift. It's your hands-free treatments, which are nice. I can do my lips, putting one on each side of my lips and treating that area. Now, when I'm doing my lips, I'm going to put a damp cloth. I'm going to use the Lemieux Isocell Recovery Solution and one of my soft cloths and lay across there to conduct all over the lips. And all of that will be in my Learn Center. Now, some of you had purchased a Mitama, and so you were part of our Facebook Mitama group, where I showed you all these tips and tricks that I was always coming up with for using the Mitama. All of those transfer to the Triwave. I'm going to be shutting down that Facebook page, and we've built it out now. Yay. So many people want to see this. We've built it out in our Learn Center. So now you can go to the Learn Center and you'll see all kinds of different tutorials for, they're not loaded yet. I think right now we have a bathtub treatment in there right now, but you will see tutorials for the brow lift, the lips, for an eye detox. With the eye detox, you're going to use ones that you cut down smaller like this. You're going to put one here, one here, one here, and one here, and then lay your Isocell Recovery Solution cloth across the eyes. That takes care of puffiness and dark circles. Really, really good stuff. So that will all be uploaded over the next few weeks, and you guys can take advantage of all of that good information. I see I have a lot of questions, but I do want to hit on a couple more things. For those of you who've been doing microcurrent with me for a while, when you are using pads like these, the electrodes, Lemieux O2 Calming Gel is the best gel for that because it helps them to stick the best. The other gel that I love is Promoter Collagen Gel from Tove. And this is the one that I use when I'm using my lift, when I'm using my probes, because this is the one that has all those key ingredients in it that are going to build collagen. So a lot of times people want to invest in a nice device like this, and they want to firm that skin, but then they want to use something like aloe vera gel or something really cheap as a conductive gel. And I want to encourage you guys not to do that, because your microcurrent is increasing product penetration. I want to increase the penetration of the ingredients in Promoter Collagen Gel, because they are going to promote collagen in my skin, and my skin's going to be healthier and plumper, and they're going to work together. So sometimes when you're not seeing results, it's because you've got to take a multi-pronged approach. You can't just use a device and not use good skincare. It just won't work that way. And I know there's some of you out there that just want to use a device don't want to use skincare, or maybe just put a lotion on. But I tell you, if you want those results, and that's why you're buying that device, you're going to have to invest in some skincare. And we can help you do that at Artist Skincare. You can go to our live chat. Our customers, we're just getting this program set up. And so you'll be the first to hear about it right here. It's not quite up and running yet, but it will be in the next few weeks. If you are logged in and you are a member of Artist Skincare, you can go to our reward center and we will have a new item on there that's called Skincare Checkup. And so anybody who's a member at Artist Skincare can do a skincare checkup whenever they need to. And with that, you will supply whatever other products that you're using. They don't have to be Artist Skincare, but whatever products you've been using, what new products you're just adding in or want to add in, and what your concern is. And my estheticians will help put your products in the proper order for you. And if you have a bunch of tools, they'll put the tools in order so that you know when to use them. Because we know you could spend a bunch of money on devices and a bunch of money on skincare products from all over the place. There's a lot of great skincare out there. But if you don't combine them right and use them in the right order or at the right time of your life, you're not going to get the results that you want. And I'm all about the results and getting that healthy, glowing skin. So I wanted to create this place where all of you guys, anyone who shops with Artist Skincare, can go and you can have your skincare routine evaluated. Even if you use some other brands sprinkled in there, it's okay. They're going to make sure that you're using them in the right order and at the right time of day, and that they're the right products for you. So that's coming really soon, and I'll keep you guys posted on that so you know when it actually goes live. But that's super cool. Okay, I'm going to dive into questions now because I can see we have a lot of questions today. I got you guys all thinking. It's good. Aloha Jen. Aloha Jen is working with us. We have a partnership together, and she's going to be creating educational content for you guys and reviewing products for you guys. So be sure to head over to her YouTube station and subscribe. She just did a video last night on the Dermadisc. And I have to tell you guys, she does a much better job than I do. She's very thorough. And she explains everything she's a much better teacher than I am. So thank you, Jen. And she's beautiful. She's been using the Dermadisc and with the enzymes from Botnia, and her skin is really glowing. And it's fun to see her using this device because she's one of those people that turns bright red if you just wash her face. You just touch her skin and she turns bright red. So here she is using the Dermadisc, and she's nice and pink. She's very pink all over. But then she shows you the next day how her skin looks, and it's just so beautiful and calm, and definitely did not cause any inflammation for her. So that's pretty cool. Okay. Yes, and Jen says it's true. What people notice most about the skin is that healthy youthful glow. It's the most important thing. To me, the sparkle in the eyes, a smile, and glowing skin, that's my long-term goals. If you ask me, what are your long-term goals for how you want to look or be or interact in the world? And it's like, I want to sparkle in my eye. I want to be easy to laugh and smile. And I just want to glow. It's my goals. Okay. Here we have another question. Gina, can you please show how to properly use light stem? So there's several ways that you can use your light stem. You can use it by holding it until it beeps in one spot and then move it to the next spot till it beeps, the next spot. And that's one way of doing it. The other way that you can do it is move it around. So as you know, as I've said, I get hyperpigmentation. So I'm moving it around until it beeps, and then I move to the next section until it beeps, and the next. Now, light stem is powerful. Many LEDs cannot be used with any products on your skin, or it will interfere with the light getting through to your skin. LightStim has done a lot of studies. You can even apply your moisturizer. So you can put your serums on, your moisturizer, and then use your LightStim with no problems. The light is still going to get through there, and you're still going to have a really great treatment. Some things we haven't really tested. Lauren and I go around about it, but we haven't really used LightStim over retinol. So somebody could test that and let us know how that goes. We haven't had the courage yet to try putting on our retinol and then doing this. So usually I do mine. I keep my little Emma retinol next to the bed, and I'll put it on after I'm done with my light stim treatment. But that is the proper way, is that you would wash your face. You could put some serums on, do your treatment, then put on your retinol or your face cream afterwards. Or if you just really like to keep it simple, you could put a serum on, put your moisturizer on, and then do your light stim treatment. Either way, this is kind of like the hammer. As long as you're doing it 5 days a week, you're going to do good and you're going to see great results. So I hope that's helpful. All right, Sarah says, do you need to wear glasses with that product? I'm assuming you're meaning the light stim, since this question came in right after the other light stim question, and you do not need to wear glasses with it. If you are really sensitive, you could put it comes with those little things that lay over the eyes if you want to, but there's no problem with this and your eyes. It will not hurt your eyes. Let's see. Tina says, is that pen similar to nano needling, or is it different because it also exfoliates? So it is similar to nano needling. Does not use metal needles. So it's not actually puncturing through the skin, but it's different. And I can't really show you guys how tight. You can kind of see how tight that little piece is with those little tiny needles on there, and the needles are made out of silicone, not of metal, and it's like a little stamp. So it's like a Regenerate or a microchanneling device. And what's nice about this is that in California, us estheticians, we're not allowed to use any kind of microneedling on the skin. Our regulations don't allow it. So this device is allowed, and the Regenerate is also allowed in California. So a lot of estheticians love these. And this was developed because of that, this kind of technology. But then what we've found is that the technology is amazing, even if it was originally meant to be a substitute for microneedling. We're finding that it stands on its own 2 feet. It's just absolutely excellent and does not get as much inflammation as you might get with microneedling. So hope that answers your question. Paula, should you avoid retinols when using the pen? How often can you use the pen? So they're recommending 3 times a week to use your pen, especially on the first 2 settings where you're infusing. If you're using it more for stimulating exfoliation, you might only use it once or twice a week on that setting. And I have experimented. I've tried using the exfoliation mode, the red light, using Rhonda Ellison's C stem cell, because it has some protein and peptides in it, and that worked pretty well. I've also tried putting on my dark spots the natural mega brightening serum from Rhonda Ellison, and then using it on that to kind of drive those in. And I have had good results doing that on that red light setting, which is more your exfoliation setting. What I would say, though, is that you've got to experiment for yourself. I have not tried using this to drive retinol in the skin. I suspect it would probably be too irritating to do that. So I probably would not use it with retinol, but I have tried using it with some other actives, and I have not had adverse effects. I will say, too, though, that just using it with Michelle Corley's peptide serums and using it on the red light setting on all over my face, I have peeled the next day, and it's nice peeling. It doesn't hurt or anything. I just have, skin that kind of rolls off, which is kind of cool. So you don't even have to use actives with this, which is really nice for people who are sensitive to active ingredients. So hope that is helpful. Valentina, does the skin wand tear the skin like a roller would? No, it does not. No tearing at all. That's one of the great benefits. What is the depth of the needles on the skin wand? So they're not going in to the skin. They're more of a surface. So they're not measuring a depth. Microneedling usually is not so much measuring a depth either. They're measuring the size around the diameter of the hole that they're making. So the skin one is very, very fine. And you know it's working and pushing things in because, like I said, when you go to put on moisturizing things, you're going to feel a little stingly. So you're going to feel where it is actually disrupting your skin barrier so that products can penetrate and so that you will disrupt those cells so that they can flake off. And let's see, where am I? Robin, the wave also pushes product into the skin. Yes, it does. Absolutely. On the negative ion setting, yes. And then, so she's saying the wave also pushes product in. Yes, it's using ultrasound to push product in. So there's lots of ways to push product in. And in fact, I'll play with you guys some more in the coming weeks because I've been making a technology facial where I'm using my skin wand and then I'm putting on stuff and then I'm using my wave to push stuff in and then I'm using my lift device and getting in here with my little balls and lifting the eyelids. And so I'm going to show you my techno facial in the coming weeks, and it's pretty fun. Okay, and then she says, how is the pen different from the wave in this respect? Okay, so the pen is actually disrupting that skin barrier and like pushing in like this, where the wave is using ultrasound. So it's more of an electronic pulling and pushing product into the skin. So one's more of a manual, and then the other one is more of a current, an electrical current that opens the skin and pushes stuff in. So I hope that helps. I'm not the most technically savvy person. I tend to dump things down because then I understand them better. So I'm sorry if that's not a technical enough answer for you, but definitely the wand is more of a physical pushing in or mechanical pushing in. And then the wave is using electrical current to open up and ionically move things through the skin. Okay. Let's get down to the next messages. Do you need gel when using the lift during the rejuve setting? Yes, you do. I recommend using your Promoter Collagen gel or your Michelle Corley hydrating gel, and you will need the Isocell recovery solution because you've got to keep the skin wet and moist. That's one of the beauties of this device, the Myolift devices, is that it shows you when you're conducting and when you're not. And so when that bar starts blinking on there, you know to spritz with some more of the Isocell recovery solution to keep it all conducting. Now, what I have found is that when you're using these little balls, the skin does not have to be as wet. You still need conductive gel on, but it does not have to be as wet. These little balls conduct like no other. So that's one little tip that I have on that. That's what I've noticed. Barbara, I'll be in Cal from Toronto in March. If I was to get one device, which would you recommend, the Dermadisc or the Skin Wand? I use Neogenesis Recovery and the Scopola line. I would probably do the Skin Wand. Give the Skin Wand a try because I know if you've got all those Scopola products, you're wanting to drive those in, and the Skin Wand is really going to do that action for you. And it's also going to give you some light exfoliation, where your Dermadisc is not going to drive products in. The Dermadisc is more about sandblasting off. If you've got a lot of texture on the skin, you've got a thickening of the skin. So kind of to answering your question without seeing your skin makes it hard to say, but in general, I'd probably say the Skin Wand. But if you know you've got a lot of damaged skin cells built up and just a leathery skin, to get through that, you might want to start with this little guy and some enzymes from Botnia. Okay. How is the microcurrent Anma gets powered? So let me show you that. It's called the Lift, and it has this cord and these balls hooked into it. This cord we're working too on shortening this Anma cord because you have so much cord here. You can go all around the house. So here's my lift. It is connected into my Triwave through these connectors. And then this cord goes into the back of my Triwave, or it could go into the bottom of the QT. See the QT, when we put a cord on, it has these two pins. So I could hook my lift onto those. And it would be the same thing if you have the Mitama. You would hook the pins for the lift into the pins for your Mitama. Here's the pins. They're behind my neck. Where'd they go? This cord is so long. Here they are. There's your pins and how they hook up. So I'll pull one apart for you. So this is the piece that's on your device. This is the piece that goes with the lift, and those go together. And that's how you create your connection. Thanks for asking that question. That's a good question. Barbara, I meant to say I use Scopla products and I bought the TMR from you. TMP. Time Master Pro. I'm thinking you're thinking TMP. Yes. So if you have the TMP, you can use that like you would the Wave. You would use that while your cavipla is still a little foamy on the skin, work it in, or you can add some of the promoter collagen gel onto the skin and work it in. So you'd put on your cavipla. And while you have the foam on, use your TMP on the lowest setting to just until you work that foam in, and then you would get your collagen promoter gel and put that on, and then you could do a longer treatment with your TMP. You only want to do that long treatment once or twice a week, and then you would put on your promoter repair moisturizer on top of that. Now, this gel, I find it does not flake or have any problems. You know, a lot of conductive gels, if you leave them on your skin, partway through the day, they start to like roll off. This does not do that. But what I do is I get my hands wet with the Cell Recovery Solution and massage in any of the leftover gel on the surface of my skin, and then put on the Promoter Repair Moisturizer on top of it so it gets rid of any little tackiness that you might have. And that gives your skin a really nice barrier protection, a really healthy glow, and really gives the skin a really moist look. That's very nice. And so, yes, you could use either one of those two devices, the Skin Wand or the Dermadisc. And it kind of depends on how much exfoliation that you're wanting to go after. Okay, Valentina says she loves using her QT. She finds it to be quick and easy, and use it with her cell phone or iPad. Yay for you. She's a techno-savvy gal. Good job. And then I think Valentina already has a Mitama. So with her Mitama, she's getting the rejuve or the detox kind of setting, which is built into that device. So she's still getting some help there with that. Paula, I thought with the Myolift mask, you don't need gel. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned those because I meant to bring them out. You don't have to use gel with the masks. And in fact, you don't have to use gel with these either. I just find that it feels more comfortable and that they stick on better and stay put better. But with the Myolift masks, you also do not have to use gel with them. If you do use gel, the one I recommend is the O2 calming gel from Lemieux because it's going to help these masks to stay in place. So we have the eye mask. We now have the 4 pads that you could use for the neck and various other things that you want to do. Let's see what else we have here. We have the forehead. Goes across there. We have the new neck strap. That's pretty fun. The neck strap is going under here. So that's working on that double chin kind of thing going on here. I also, oh, I just dropped them. There we go. I love that one because it goes on and stays so well to do that. I like to add to that and use a chin strap or a headband where you can wrap it around and it actually helps hold it on and it pulls everything up because that is really helpful. When you stick this on, it'll just stay on right here, but it's nice if you give it some lift while you're doing it. So imagine that. And then we have a lip, the lift one as well. Lip one goes right around the lips. And those can be used with or without gel. Oftentimes they're more comfortable to use with a little bit of gel on there. Okay, I'm going to bend down and pick up the ones I dropped. And so those are handy and easy to use. You'll see that I've also talked about using my homemade pads. And some people like to do those and prefer using those. Sometimes they're smaller and easier to maneuver. They're a lot less expensive. So there's just kind of something for everyone, depending on how involved you want to be in the process. Okay, let's see what our next question is. Sarah, if I remember you saying this microcurrent device does not emit heat, right? No heat. You're safe on that one. Valentina wants to know, do I need to rinse off this gel after using it with a microcurrent? I don't find that I have to. I do, like I said, mist the isocell recovery solution on my hands, massage in any leftovers, and then I put my moisturizer right on top of it. And I don't find that it pills or rolls off my skin at all. Okay. And in fact, Valentina, many people with that more normal combo oilier skin use this gel as their moisturizer. I have acne clients that use this as their moisturizer. It can be used underneath your acne med at night. Yeah, acne safe with great anti-aging benefits. I mean, a lot of times with our acne products, they're so geared towards those younger people, but they're not giving us those things that we need. There's many people who are over 30 who are still dealing with breakouts and acne. So it's really nice when we find products like this with all those great healthy aging ingredients, and you can use them with your acne products. So you can use that with your Mandelic serum, and you can also use it with your acne med. See. Where was I? I'm finding you. Let's see. If using, Robin, if using the Anma Lift with Mitama is using the Anma Lift with the Mitama one of your educational demos? No, I do not have a demo video for that, but it's super easy. You're just going to plug it in. Now the Mitama Lift is just going to run through one cycle, a 20-minute cycle. You can't choose what it's going to be doing during that time, but you can definitely, and I have done it in the past, you definitely can use it with your Mitama. You're just know that you're going to be running through all different variations of waveforms. You're not going to just be going after the rejuve or detox and then going after fascia and then going after muscles. It's kind of all mixed together. It'll do a few minutes of this and a few minutes of that, but it's all good. And you just do it with your lift and it works great. Don't have a video of it, but maybe in the future I will make one for you guys. But really, it's just so simple is what I just showed you. Just plug it in and go. No demo needed. Sophie, can you use Dr. Estee Cetox with the pen, or is it only to be used with serums? So Cetox has some retinol in it. So experiment. Maybe just try one little spot and see how it works for your skin, and definitely use it only on the blue setting, the lightest setting, because that is one of our most active eye creams. So you just want to go slowly with it. I'm not saying that you can't. You probably can, but just test an area first and make sure that your skin is up for that. What serums do you recommend to use with the pen for under eye hollows? So Neogenesis would be what I would use if you're talking serums. I would use the Neogenesis Eye Serum and use your pen in that area. Just the fact of using the pen and pushing that in is going to stimulate a lot of collagen for that area. And then when you're done, put your Cetox on top of that. So you're getting the benefit from both things there. The reason I say Neogenesis under there is because that's got those stem cell cytokines. And a lot of times when we're seeing that hollowness under there, we're really seeing a loss of collagen. So we want to increase your collagen there. And by going after it with the Neogenesis stem cell cytokines, that's going in there and really recharging your skin cells in there, so that they can produce more collagen. The other thing is the Anma Eye Serum. That would be excellent for you because that has the MEP in it. MEP is going in there and binding with the estrogen receptors. So that's going to help promote more collagen in that area. And then, of course, using your microcurrent devices in that area, that's going to recharge and add ATP into that area. I've used this device right onto my eyelid with no problem getting right up close with it. I'm not pushing hard. I'm just very lightly using it with my Neogenesis Eye Serum, and I'm not having any problem. And it's really helping with that crepey kind of loose eyelid skin that you can get when you have my age, well, and also my ethnicity and my genetics around my eyes. I have just a more droopy shaped eyelid, and so you can get right in there with that device, with the wand, and have no problem. Thinking about the other things that I use in that area, I love top and bottom, the Neogenesis Eye, the Skin Wand, microcurrent. You can get your microcurrent right up in here and use it. So that's what comes to my mind for you. Okay. Sarah says, another heat question. If microcurrent alone is all that's necessary to dry product in, do you have any idea why the eye rejuvenator microcurrent has that added? Because some people like heat and they like that warmth, and that was solely the decision of Bridget Kettner. That's MBK, the designers of that device. There's no heat can also dry product in, warm the skin and dry product in. And so they just include heat with that microcurrent device. Can't say anything more about it. It's their choice. It was a developer choice on that thing. Okay. It does not double the efficacy or anything. It's just more of a pleasant feeling, and warmth can be nice. Same with, ice globes too can also help with product penetration, just cooling the skin like that. Okay. Yes, Valentina says she's using the Mitama and she's using the lift device, and she agrees that she would like to have a shorter cord for the lift, and that is in development, Valentina. You can probably reach out. I think you bought yours from Jane Mann. You can probably reach out to her and she'll help you with that. Let's see. All right. You guys, we did it. We only went 15 minutes overtime. I'm glad we all got so excited about this topic. You guys love devices. I love sharing why we use them. Thank you for hanging in here. It was a long one. An hour and 15 minutes is a bit long, but we made it through. And I'm glad I was able to answer all of your questions. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.